Big Poppa T-Mo. We are back playing some No Man's Sky. We are going to be playing our normal mode, our main save with 119 hours. I'm going to go ahead and load right on in here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get some things all together in the chat screen, get my YouTubes all set up correctly. So bear with me for one moment. Alright, got that. And then I'm going to do some real quick ruthless self-promotion. Alright, got that one up and running. And one more and I will be good to go. Blammo, got my ruthless self-promotion up and going. Alrighty. Already got some thumbs ups going. That makes me happy. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. I did some inventory management off stream last time. So we are in a pretty decent shape. I have picked up a decent amount of pugnium and mordite because I was killing some things. Got a couple more walker brains. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with all that fun stuff. And our inventory is in pretty decent shape. I am not going to complain about this. I could definitely use to fill some things up, but I think we're good to go. I don't know why I have so much pugnium on me. Really do not need that. So we're going to move some of this pugnium to the freighter. Just because don't need to have it on us. We're going to put the walker brain in the freighter too. We'll hold on to the mordite for a little bit till we need to get rid of that. Now we have caught up on our Artemis quests. Let's see where our log takes us now. We have a little bit of kill some creatures, kill some predators, and we need to take a picture. Where do we need to take a picture? We need to take a picture of a land-dwelling creature. So this should actually be fairly simple to clear the quest log. And I think as a way to get started, that will be the way to go. I should probably have just sent all those. I have not done anything with my frigates in a while. I'm going to have to rectify that. Definitely got to get the frigates going more often. I want to get everybody caught up on leveling up, and we still have a few C classes that need to be bumped up to the B class. And then the B's to the A's and the A's to the S's. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump on out here. That pretty in pink. What system are we currently in? We are on the Stampu sphere, and I can't say as to why. Don't know why we were here, guys. Honestly, I forgot. Now, one of the biggest problems that I have is multiple saves. Okay, so this is the one we actually got the quest for, predators. We are going to use our handy dandy hunting reserve, Salt Lick Hunting Preserve, and we're going to knock out these quests real quick. We'll get a picture with the critter and Then we will kill some predators because we know these big old blobby guys like to come after me. And we'll get that taken care of. But with the multiple saves, I forget which one is doing what. I have, this is my main save at 120 hours roughly. I have the other one at just shy of 80 hours, and then one that's just behind that as well. And I think I'm going to actually delete one of them because I logged on last night, and in doing so I realized that they really don't have all of the things that I would like to have on the save. Like, they don't even have all of the glyphs. When I logged on, they had 1 of 16. So I had gotten 1 from the Artemis quest, and I hadn't gone around and spoken to any travelers or anything else like that. So I went around for about an hour and a half and just got new travelers, and you know, was just getting glyphs. Well, hello, Mr. Sentinel. And I ended up getting, I think I got 8 of them. And it was just one of those, you know, I've done this so many times on so many different saves. It was kind of annoying. Alright, let's go ahead and get the Boltcaster ready. Grab some sodium here. Should never pass up sodium. I mean, that was 27 from one plant. Alrighty, where are our critters, guys? I do not see any green dots anywhere yet, but they might not have loaded in just yet. This planet just gets more and more lush as the days progress. It's getting harder and harder to see things. When I first came here, this was all just straight up looked like mowed grass. Now it looks like nobody's cut the grass in months. Not that I'm really complaining. I do like the lush biomes. Well, hey, there we got some critters. I think I have quests to kill critters. Oh, you know, I don't. I just have quests to kill predators, but I do have quests to take pictures, so this may end up blue screening because I'm gonna have to do a proper one. So my apologies for the blue screen. And we should be back. I do apologize about that. I wish that there was some way to do that without blue screening, but it doesn't give me credit for the quest otherwise, which is quite an unidentified mineral. Really? No, it's a little teeny one. Okay, you're not a predator. You're just a critter. What's up, buddy? Let me make sure that all I have to do is kill predators. Yep. No, I do have a straight up kill creatures. Alright, so 3 out of 10. So I gotta kill 7 more. That shouldn't be too hard. can't leave one of those floating around. Those things are just straight up nasty. Might hurt somebody. Mainly me. I do love when the critters try and protect the other ones. It's quite humorous. I still hear critters. Oh, there still are some. Just because you were such a pain in the butt. Another unidentified mineral. Where was it? Can't have that going around. Well, little Mr. Sentinel's like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? There's a bunch of dead creatures on the ground. Can't have that. Oh, you know what, Mr. Sentinel? You can have that. You do have that. Alright, so we are still on that quest. It is not... There we go. We got one more to do. And honestly, I was expecting a predator by now. But it is daytime, and they tend to come out more at night. But they are active during the day as well, so... little on the surprising side. Gotta kill 2 of them, so that will take care of that quest. Oop. Ooh. Fall damage into a whip vine. Well, we have ourselves a knowledge stone, and knowledge is power. Hey, there's one of our predators. Hey, there's another one. Well, hey there, KJ. How are you doing? Oop, I have triggered the sentinels. Guess I should kill him. Nobody likes an active sentinel. Alrighty, well that takes care of the questing. So I can go ahead and head back to camp. You slept all day? No time ever is sleeping a wasted day, KJ. Sleep is very important, especially after all that video work you've been doing. I've been paying attention. I've even watched a bunch of them. I appreciate you swinging by. Alrighty, I believe I'm gonna grab some salt while I'm here. Because, oh no, that's coming out as copper. See, that bugs me. I have no other autonomous miners on this planet. So there is no reason that these should be glitching the copper. Yet here they are. Wish they'd get that suited or figured out. That'd be nice. I really actually wanted salt. Yeah, KJ, I like that you're doing everything just straight from the beginning and pretty much like a straight live stream, so that there's no editing on the video or anything else like that, because like you said, sometimes people think you're hiding something or um, that they're missing out on stuff. So if you do just a straight stream of consciousness type of thing, I like the way that it goes. If I leave a bit in each one, it'll always be salt. Gotcha. I'm just mad that it switches, because I actually, when I left, they had started on salt, and now that I've come back, they've switched to copper. But um, I never put the miners on anything else on this planet. You know, I've had ones where you put them on multiple nodes, where if you put some on copper and you put some on salt, it'll go back and forth. Now, the only thing that I can think of is that copper node right there, being only 233 units away, is being picked up by the range of these things. Excuse me, had a little coughing fit there. Yeah, I have some planets that they work just fine, and other planets that they just don't. Um, the worst one that I had was actually what I thought was my fault, because I set the base up right between 3 nodes. It was on a magnetized ferrite, paraffinium, and copper, right between 3 of those. So this one right here, TP Magfair Bubbles 48. Just to explain that name, TP is for trading posts, Magfair is the magnetized ferrite, Bubbles is the baller hauler, and she's a 48-8, and it was in S-Class. So that's my farming spot for baller haulers if I ever need them. Try and name these things as useful as I can at times, but other times, you know, you do what you do. Alright, I totally forgot. I was at Stanbu. I guess it doesn't really matter which system I go to. These are just straight turn-ins. Yes, I have noticed that when you put your base computers down, it does do one really cool thing, though. It shows you what the active area of influence is for the base computer. When it does the scan bubble, it drops a ring real quick if you pay attention, so you can see what the actual range is. But then it zooms back in, and you can't really grab any landmarks. But it does show what that was, and I thought I had put one of my bases close enough to the water on Londinium, and that's Timoran's Isle of Solitude, and I was going to do some water buildings, but the water is too shallow within the influence of the base computer, so to get it out into the deep enough part to do it, I'm going to have to drop another base computer, and I'm not going to do that on Londinium. Londinium's already getting a little bit twitchy. Definitely a little bit twitchy already. And I don't want to cause any more lag on that planet than we have to. Have you been out to Londinium yet? Got a little fusion accelerant for that one. Ah, that's right. You had the problem with the saves, but you got your main save back, didn't you? Alright, so this is still telling me to go to the center of the galaxy, which is not what I want to do. And rank 9 with the Mercenaries Guild. Now, what was it that caused the problem in the first place? Did you switch computers? All right, so you got a new PC. This is such a dark system. Can't get a good view of my beautiful S-Class freighter. There she is. Oh, she's so pretty. Alrighty, well, while I'm here, I'm going to bump into some things. Should probably send out the frigates on some missions. I've done that before too. I did that with an EVE Online save that I was working on. Luckily, everything in EVE automatically backs up on the servers. Let's go ahead and clear this out because I only have those 9 slots. Alright, so now I have all this extra copper. Which I really do not need. Gotcha. Alright. I think it is time to add on to our little drug operation here. We're just doing the nip up here. Nip and copyright to help us make the nip. Ooh, that was a little too fast. Way too fast. Still have not yet mastered the art of PS4 farming. If I was on a PC, this would be so much easier. Ugh. Hydroponics tray. Again with the hydroponics tray. Oh, you know what it is? I'm in third person, and that never helps. You know, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with all the nip. Right now, all I've been doing is turning it into more nip to farm more nip. I don't even know if it's worth any more than any one particular flower or what. It's not like you can turn it into glass. But what I was doing before the first farm build that I had on the freighter was all frostwort and solar vine. And the problem that I had was I put so much up here that when I was loading in, I was freighter glitching through the floor and falling to my death, which was quite annoying. And it was mainly because the frostwort was all coming in all at once, and when it would all spawn in, it was glitching out the floor. Alright, so since you mentioned it, let's see what the... Alright, well, 5 nips are worth 88,000 units. That's not a bad haul, given that a stack of 250 frostwort is, I think, 120. So I don't know if the... Yeah, that's not bad. Not that I really sell things too often. I have a nasty habit of just being a hoarder, where I will just stick stuff in storage forever and ever and just let it be. But I like the idea of having this, so it's more of a personal a personal thing. It took me a while to get the blueprint for the Nip Nip. So since I did get it, or not the blueprint, but to actually get some Nip Nip buds from one of the vendors, I was bartering with the Gek, and I probably went through 250,000 units. So like 250 trades with Gek before I finally got one to give me some. And so I started with 2 plants over in the corner and built it up to a few more, and then every chance I get I grow some more. And I don't know, maybe one of these days we'll have a medicinal Nip Nip market or something like that in game. Oh. Yeah, no kidding. I don't even know what's in my ships. I have 3 48/8s down in the dock. One of them is just straight full of plants. I named that one Planter. And then I have Builder, which should have Builder supplies. And then I have Bubbles. The only of these storage units that I actually do know what's in is number 3 here, because this is the chromatics. So I have copper, chromatic, cadmium, and indium, and emerald in there. But other than that, I don't know what's in any of these other ones. But I do actually need to start putting some Nip Nip in these. Yeah, see, I do know. What I should do is check to see if Nip Nip grows on any planet, on which biome it would grow. Start planting it. Just start planting on a planet. Leave wild fields of Nip Nip around. Alright, well the other reason I came onto the freighter was to actually do some frigate missions, so I am going to pull this back on. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get them running. Unless of course I have to debrief, I don't know. Shoot, I might have missions out. They are all out. So I'm going to have to actually return all my missions. Oh my god, I got to get off this first person. It bugs the hell out of me. There we go. Yeah, Lushy would probably be good, so I don't know. I can always Google it, but zip through this real quick. Alright, 1.4 mil and 450 chromatic metal. Can't get through the door. I have not had enough coffee. I was actually up really late last night too, and then didn't get up till about 4 o'clock this afternoon. But that's pretty common for me. I am a night owl, naturally. 2.1 and a bunch of crap that I'm never going to use. Although now that I'm starting to get a lot more of the blueprints, I should probably start paying better attention. I am in western Pennsylvania. I'm about an hour away from Pittsburgh. I'm up in the Allegheny Mountains. Got a jar of hairy sprouts, approximately 1,098 years old. It's not bad. It's particularly nice in the summer. Where I live, we haven't had a 100-degree day in almost 100 years. And we've had like 10 90-degree plus days in the last 15 years. It's basically where the old steel barons and stuff like that would come to get away from the heat of Pittsburgh. So I'm up in the mountains, and it's pretty nice. The humidity's pretty decent low in the summertime, and the winters can be a little bit harsh, though. I mean, we've had quite a few sub-zero days, and right now we've got about 6 inches of total frozen slush outside because we had a snowstorm, then freezing rain, and then another snowstorm, and then freezing rain, and then another snowstorm, and freezing rain, sleet, and wintry mix. So it's all compacted right now, so it kind of sucks. Gotcha. Well, got some edible beans on that one. Honestly, I don't even know. I got a box of alien moths too. Let's see what I actually have. See, I did get the pattern for that, but I don't have the quantum processor. I don't think I have cryogenic chamber yet. I do have quantum processor, okay. And that takes superconductors and circuit boards. Got it. What I've been meaning about doing is explosive drones. Oh, I had fusion reactor? I didn't even see it. Alright, so let's... There's fusion accelerant. I gotta do some mind control devices too. Oh, really? Nice. Alright, so I got all this extra pugnium now too. So I guess that's all going to get turned into nanite clusters, although I don't need that either. I really don't need nanite clusters. Alright, what do I have on the starship? I have nothing on the starship, so let's go ahead and switch things over there that we know we are going to sell. I know it makes nanites, but it doesn't make them in doesn't make them in a lot of quantities compared to like platinum, and I'm sitting on just over 10,000. Yeah, it's good to know. Like I didn't realize that platinum makes nanites, and I also didn't know that silver makes glass until I was watching somebody else's videos. And oh, I have ferrite dust. Let me finish that out. I love leaving things, just random things left in the refiner, so you come back and you're like, ooh, special treat. I needed some coprite the other day, and I had just a veritable butt ton of mortite, so I used that to do that. It is kind of cool, some of the things that convert. And then the other thing that I really like is like the conversion ratio ones, where you add certain other materials to make the additional ones, so that it adds to it, like adding oxygen to the condensed carbon. Buried technology modules make nanites. If you run them through the refiner, I'd never bothered to check to see if a tech module would go through. Yeah, going through and doing that, but honestly, I've gotten to the point now where, you know, once you get to a certain amount of units, it's, you know, you get to where you don't even want to make a bunch of stuff. It's just so much faster to buy. I can put some of that in storage. But I'm still learning little things all the time. You know, the little tricks on how to do things are always nice. Okay, I got a whole bunch of those. Those can actually all go to the freighter. Oh, gotta check the freighter inventory. Yeah, there we go. That's a whole bunch of crap that need to sell. Don't do anything with sac venom. Yeah, actually, I've bugged out a few large refiners. There's still a couple of those combinations that if you put them in there and run it, it will break, or if you double stack certain things. Um, I don't really like duplication tricks or anything else like that, but I do like to see how creative people get. So I've gone through and just like tested a couple of the things that people say work really, really well and everything else like that. Or I particularly like doing the ones that break things. So when I first started playing, I had a base that it was set up just in case something did break. I didn't care. So I had some large refiners in there, and I would double stack things in there to see what I could get to actually break and get stuck up on things. It was kind of cool because there's some pretty neat combinations out there that I wouldn't think of that actually do work. But then there's other ones that, just like you said, will totally your wreck your machinery. Alright, so don't need convergence cubes. Really don't need that activated emerald. And I just sent all of that to the exosuit, which was not where I wanted to send it. So you did the hyperdrive modules. How did that work out? Alright, what else do I need to get rid of? Oh, I think I can let everything be for a moment. Let's get rid of the effigies, the teleports. Gotcha. Yeah, I know some people have a problem with the reload autosaves too, where they think that that's kind of cheating, and I understand why people would not like that per se, but it's a game mechanic, so I don't personally have a problem with it. You know, it's a form of easy farming, but it's still a method of farming. Alright, Walker Brains. Brains. Alright, we want the tritium on the freighter. I hate having to think about where I'm putting all this crap. Alright, I definitely need to check my high capacity cargo. Alright, fairy dust is all in the right spot. I'm actually missing gold. I should be carrying around some gold. That's true, they will be there the next day. I'm gonna take the tritium. I'm actually gonna store some nip-nip. Of course, this is where I'm gonna get busted. Space police are gonna come get me and see that I'm storing nip-nip. Alright, let's store some more nip-nip. And some more walker brains. This can go to the freighter. For your high capacity? Yeah. I can't remember who I was watching. I was watching somebody and they went over why they did their layout the way that they did it, and it kind of made sense. But I definitely need to put more copper back in here, and I need a gold right there, and then I can level everything off. Yeah, it's all the stuff that you commonly need when you're either planet-wise or doing some, you know, whatever. Um, it's not enough to do like a base build or anything, but it's definitely enough to get you fully started on any base you might need. You know, definitely enough for a ship computer, or not a ship computer, but a base computer and all the little things like that. Alright, let's switch over here. I want to put some gold in there. Alright, now we are back to regular on that. So basically all I do is I'll come in here every once in a while and flesh out everything that I need. I have all that frost crystal. I need to go make glass someplace and just be done with it. But it's much better to carry that around as frost crystal than it is as glass. What do you use the grav balls for the multi-tool? Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, I don't really use the blaze javelin too often. I put it on one of my saves, and the problem I have is I'm horrible at first-person shooters. So having a weapon that you need on target is not the best weapon for me, per se. So using the blaze javelin is not always that good. But if your target stays still, for me, it's amazing. I was actually on the one. I went to one of my hunting preserves on the other save, and was just sitting there pegging creatures with the blaze jav. It was kind of nice. I was trying to be sword and put them to sleep. And we're gonna clear up a bunch of this crap. I would imagine I will drive somebody totally bonkers one day doing this. They're going to watch the things that I'm selling and they're just going to go nuts. Oh my god, you need that for this? Yeah, but I'm not going to make that, so... Watch some nerd's head explode. Alright, you got room for that. That. I have so much magnetized ferrite right now. How many times does it take to use the blaze javelin to get through the door, though? Yeah, I would agree that there's a lot of things in this game for a lot of different people, but wouldn't say there's quite something for everyone. I need to stop pushing the wrong stupid button. I know there are a lot of people that just don't like this game because there's not a lot of lore progression. You know, once you get through the, what is it, 30 hours or so of lore quests, you're pretty much done. Gotcha, gotcha. What I want to do one of these days is go around with a save where I learn absolutely none of the language of the people and try and guess at the answers for the manufacturing facilities and everything else like that, where it's just a total stranger in a strange land type of a thing. You have no idea whatsoever what the population is telling you, and you got to try and figure out tasks and see what the success rate for something like that would be. The first boundary ring? I don't follow. What's the boundary ring? Boop. Totally bounced off of that one. Oh, okay. I know which rings you're talking about now. I gotcha. Those giant rings that Look like a mix between a portal and monolith. Alright. I guess I can do a base computer. I need to sell this tech module real quick before I forget. Now, can you interact with those rings, or is there something I'm missing here? Because I've been to those rings before, and I don't remember being able to do anything with them. Not the weapons terminal I was looking for. These are not the droids you are looking for. Alright, let's go ahead and zip on down to the computer. That is such a pretty freighter. I do love my baby. Yeah, that's the... I totally forgot to send the frigates out on missions. I'm horrible. Thank you. That was my, the Sentinel S-Class that actually, it took me 4 engagements. That's all it took. The first one I got was an A33, and then I got a B31, and I think the third one was like a C something or other. And then the fourth one was the S-Class. It's actually in the, pretty sure it's one of the streams. I'll have to take a look. It's kind of funny how you get sentimental towards ships. I was actually thinking that save file that I have where I don't have all of the don't even have all the glyphs or anything else like that, what I was going to do is get rid of all of the S-Class ships that I have on it and then go find like the junkiest, nastiest C-Class freighter with like 17 slots and just do training videos off of that. So, you know, okay, you have a C-Class fighter that's a 15-2 that, you know, has the worst setup location you can imagine. Here's what you got to do to go fix your stuff. See, an A33 is not bad. Oop. Pterodactyls are running low, guys. They're running low. I got hit by a bird on one of the planets last night. Flew right into me. Alright, got a little quest for that. Of course it's not in this system. Why would it be in this system? Oh, let's go check these. See if they're still pulling copper. Yes, yes they are. Alright, you want to see how bad of a hoarder I really am? Yep. I use my exocraft as storage. Alright, still got all of that. Alright, let's head back up to the freighter. Did not really want to be pointing at the Atlas interface, but that's where it's taken me. Well, the Exocraft, the Colossus, has such an amazing storage capacity. Why wouldn't you use it for hoarding things? What I was doing when Sword was going around doing all of his base builds, I was kind of doing the same thing. I was trying to learn basic base construction methods off of his patterns and still kind of keeping it my own. But so I was going around building a bunch of bases and stuff like that, and I do a lot of free planting. And the reason I have so much in the way of frost crystals and gamma weed is because those tend to be the two biomes that I'm on more often than not. I love frozen planets. I'm not a big fan of the radioactives per se, but my starting world on this save was a radioactive, so I have literally hundreds of gamma roots, gamma weeds planted right outside the space. And then with the frost crystals, I found this one planet that had this. It's a pretty nice spot for a base, but it had this beautiful, huge natural cluster of frostweed right there, or frostwort right there. So I just turned that into my own planter. So inside the base I'm growing solar vine and cactus flesh, I believe. And outside is just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of frostweeds. So the load time is a little rough on the PS4. Alright, let's go ahead and get these guys off and running. Nope, don't have any available missions yet. It's been less than a day. But since I'm on the freighter, let's go ahead and warp her.
Orbital station coordinates received.
Of course. I don't want an Atlas interface though. Oh, I want my current mission. Here we go. Let's warp there. Yeah, I saw you were talking about picking up uranium in the video I was watching last night. The uranium for the starship fuel and then pyrite. Those are definitely helpful resources to have early on so that you're not making launch fuel and pulse engine fuel. Definitely good advice. I just don't like the way that this game tries to steer you. You know, where it's constantly changing your missions for you and stuff like that. It wants you to do the Atlas path, and then, uh-oh. Data injection sequence received, source unknown. What is that? Pirates, like when you get the hunt low-level pirates quests, it overwrites everything else. Like you can't see any of the other quests, the pinned things, which I find extremely annoying. Now I'm actually in unknown territory here with the corrupt data archives. It's not that bad as long as you don't leave a station. Like if you're hopping through teleporter station to station to station to grab a boatload of quests, it's fine, and then you just jump out and kill one pirate and get like 20 of them. That's cool, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to see the base archives quest. Biological horror detected. I would imagine I just shot a whole bunch of them. Chart this sector. Got some little green glowing plants. I've gotten very good at freighter engagements. I ran so many, like this one, this save is by far my luckiest save. Um, First off, let me show you the multi-tool that I got right off the bat. This is my 24 slots S-Class Aspect of the Abyss. This was in my starting station. So other than the fact that I had to make 3.4 million units just to buy the dang thing, it was in the starting station. And I have never seen on the other saves, I had never seen an S-Class multi-tool. And then like 2 stations later I found another one, and then 2 stations later I found another one. Let's search the physical cache here. Scatter Blaster A. Oop, don't need the health. Don't need the health. Oh, there's the whip vine. I knew there had to be one on the ceiling somewhere. Wouldn't be an abandoned facility without a whip vine to smack you in the head. Alrighty. Three galaxies is... Oh, 3 galaxies, not 3 star systems. That is a little excessive. See, at that point in time, I would have started using portal addresses and YouTube, or yeah, YouTube or Google. Now, the funny thing is I haven't gone back on the other saves yet to go to the stations for the S-Class that I have from this one, although that is the plan. Alrighty. While I'm here, I should do a little bit of scanning. Gotcha. Alright, so you said buried tech modules can be converted to nanites through the refiner, correct? Because honestly, I stopped picking them up when I got the last of the blueprints. I'll save them until I get back to the ship, but still, it's good to know that I will actually pick them up every once in a while. Oh, we got a little red dot here. What do we got? Where you at, little critter? Oh, we got some hoppers. Another planet with no predators. There, we got some star bramble. It's actually where I started my first planet on this save was a bouncy planet with uranium right behind my starting location. Oh, you have found ones with predators. What kind of predators were they? You had T-Rexes on a bouncy planet? Oh. So that was the other funny thing. So my very first save, I knew absolutely nothing about this game. And I'm going around and I can't figure out how to... the starting stuff doesn't really tell you that you have to do this in a certain amount of time, otherwise you're going to die. That the beginning quests, although they do show you and walk you through everything, it's not very intuitive. So it's hard to figure a lot of stuff out. So I died the first time, and then I respawn and I have more radioactive protection, so I'm not paying as much attention, and I died again. And then I finally figured out that I had to recharge everything and go about that. But I go from my very first planet, which was trying to kill me in every way, shape, or form. My second planet is this beautiful, lush planet where there's no hazards. It's not using any life support or anything else like that. It's just absolutely beautiful. All the creatures are super soft and fluffy and seem friendly, and there's tons of them and tons of them and tons of them. So I decided to build a base. And I realized that what I need the most is carbon, so I go walking over to this copse of trees. And I start digging into this first tree and I get some carbon. I get into the next tree and I get some carbon. And I go through the third one, and then the velociraptors pop out and kill me. And then from that point on, every time I respawned, I was respawning right where there were a bunch of predators. It was so funny. Yeah, it kinda sucked. Well, there's a little stubby. I forgot to drop a signal booster down. Dang it. Oh, that is very bright yellow. Oh, crud. I forgot to drop a booster. What is the economy here? It's sustainable anyways. Yeah, it's kind of funny when we learn the lessons we learn. Um, oh, as much as I hate doing this, I gotta jump down to a planet and go grab a booster real quick. I really wish they would let us drop signal boosters on stations. So did you get your audio issues taken care of? I know you were having some problems with the Logitech device or whatever it was. Alrighty. Half tempted to look for that manufacturing facility. Yeah, it's kind of funny how some things can get screwed up really, really fast. You're doing PC, correct? So what are you using for your streaming? Are you just recording the videos and then uploading, or are you live streaming and just using the recordings from that? I definitely do not need gamma weed. Okay, so you're not doing the live streams. One of the biggest things, um, one of the biggest things that I've realized about streaming is audio quality. Now I know mine is not the best that it could be, but I'm using a headset, so I'm going to be investing in an actual desktop microphone soon, because I actually want to do a lot of streams. And I like your idea too, keeping them short, simple. The first ones that I was doing, I do everything on a PS4, and I couldn't figure out. Um, it's not that I couldn't figure out, but I figured out how to do the recorded videos, and it would record 15 minutes at a time. So I would have to set a timer, and I would play and record, play and record, play and record, and a lot of the times on my first, like the beginner's guide stuff, you'll see where I totally forget to check the time, and it'll just shut off all of a sudden. But doing the little 15-minute episodes, I did about 40 of those. So there's about 10 hours of gameplay, 15-minute chunks, and then I figured out how to change the recording time, and I changed it to 30 minutes, which made my forgetfulness even worse. And then I switched it to an hour. So with this particular save, I think the first 50 hours are recorded of the whole process. Yeah, um, there's a bunch of different available. Sorry, I got distracted by the quest here. Bunch of different available microphones. The Blue Yeti seems to be fairly popular. Um, there's another one, I can't remember the name of it, that women tend to prefer because the way that it kind of adds a little softness to the high notes of their voice. Whereas, the timbre of a male voice tends to be a little bit deeper, so the Blue Yeti tends to work for those. Um, but if you watch a lot of there's a ton of YouTube videos out there of streamers showing off their setups and stuff like that. And I have a friend of mine, she's a professional streamer for Twitch. She's a full-on Twitch affiliate and partner and everything else like that. She broadcasts, I think she does about 60 hours of streaming every week. She's got a really sweet setup. And she went through probably 5 microphones before she found the right one. Um, that when she did like a full review on it, and a bunch of other lady gamers followed her on that one. Your voice isn't that deep. I was listening to you. The only thing that you got to make sure that you're aware of is your mic placement. Um, Yeah, it sounded like in your first two videos the mic placement was a little bit off. What I started doing was after I recorded the first couple ones, I altered the audio settings on the input, but I just got a new PS4 too, so I'm working on a whole new setup now. So if you ever hear anything goofy on my videos or something like that, the audio quality's off, let me know, please God. Oh, that's too bad. What kind of dog is it? Alright, we're going to save the salvage tech. Save the nav data. Definitely want to get rid of that scatter blaster module. You have a 15-year-old Dalmatian? Purebred? Huh. Did he have any other health issues? Because I know Dalmatians, um, they're kind of hit or miss. So he came from a pretty long line. Gotcha. Um, I've had some friends that had Dalmatians that um, just had a ton of health issues. Okay, I just got a new quest to take a picture with a land creature. Okay, so he's always been deaf. Is he really deaf or does he just ignore you? Ah, right on, right on. We have a Basset Hound Beagle mix. He's more Beagle than anything else. But his name is Bingo. He's a rescue that we got from the local shelter. And other than the fact that he's dumber than a box of rocks, and that's kind of insulting the box of rocks, he is the sweetest, sweetest dog. But we call him our bagel. He basically just sits around. He takes up 2 seats on the couch, and he's only 2.5 feet long. Oh, he doesn't have eardrums. Gotcha. Yeah, Dalmatians were never really the frou-frou type of a pet. They've always been good working dogs. I've never actually had a Dalmatian. I've only had 2 dogs my whole life. My first one was Collie Golden Retriever mix. Her name was Rowdy. She was so hyperactive she would swing her tail. She actually broke my brother's leg with her tail. And then once my wife and I started having kids, we moved into this house. We decided to get Bingo. And we've got a ton of breeders up around us. Mainly for American Pits. And then there's a Border Collie breeder up by us that does some beautiful collies, but they're mainly those are in fact like true working dogs because we have a lot of pastures and stuff like that up here, so people actually still use the dogs for corralling and everything else like that. But yeah, so I've only had Rowdy and Bingo, and Bingo is, we're not exactly sure how old he is. We think he was probably 2 years old when we got him, and he was a rescue with he and 40 of his brothers and sisters from a local puppy mill gone bad, and I think he was the runt of the litter, and I think the owner of the puppy mill took him out and broke him a little early. because he was extremely gun shy right off the bat, and just skittish to high heaven. All right, I'm gonna go to. I'll show you Frostmourne. Sure, why not? Well, it was really rough with like fireworks and stuff. The city that we live in, I live in a small city in western Pennsylvania, so any holiday there is, people set off fireworks, and those were driving Bingo nuts. Um, he's going deaf though, so it no longer really affects him that bad. Um, whereas, yeah, with the gun shy, I wasn't taking him out hunting or anything else like that. He was basically, a rabbit dog. Um, but I don't take him out around guns or anything, so never had to worry about that. But he was freaking out during thunderstorms. Um, but with the kids, when he gets scared, he would nuzzle up with one of the kids and they just hug him through the whole thing. So it actually worked out really well. They made miniaturized long-haired Dalmatians. I did not know that. Alright, so this is Frostmourne. This is one of my bases that I built. We come up the ladder first, and we have a bunch of star bramble. And then there are... I should take you outside to show you. So I took the general building idea that Sword shows off, where he builds these big squares, and then I did three different sets of biodomes. The one on the left attached to that landing pad, the one on the right attached to that, and then the straight down the middle. What scared the bejesus out of me, when I put the second landing pad on, literally 30 seconds after I did it, one of these ships landed um, while I was actually standing on it, and it was kind of funny. But coming down this side, I have cactus flesh in here, all the way down. And there's one bump off there. Ooh, I still have to... Apparently I have to finish planting that one out. Then we will go over to the other side. Now you come through here and just walk straight across, and then there's the other landing pad. It's really funny when you land a baller hauler on here. It puts the nose of the baller hauler right to the door. We got star bramble all throughout this one. So what galaxy are you in now? Then this is Solar Vine in here. Solar Vine, Solar Vine. Still need to finish planting the Solar Vine here, so I need to bring planter down here at some point in time. And I think I was just planning on doing Solar Vine the whole way down. I might put some gamma in here just because, and have it be kind of a multi-purpose one. So you can you come back to Euclid, or are you stuck there? I've never crossed galaxies, so I don't know. Then come downstairs here, and I have the storage area. I have all my storage units. I still have a bunch of frost crystal. And I'll show you why I have all of that frost crystal in one moment. Alright, so I have some refiners for anybody that needs them. I think I'm actually going to put new landing pads where I'm going to take those landing pads out and turn that into another cluster of biodomes, and then put the landing pads up here on the corners of the building. But then we have this out here, so that was the natural frost wart that was just sitting out there. But wait till I get closer to this. This takes a hot second to load in. And I just came out here and did line after line after line. So now it looks like all my planted frostwort. And I think I came up with 120. I think it came out to 120,000 if you harvest everything, something like that. Yes, I will show you the trade terminal in 1 second. So when you come in the main, there's always a galactic trade terminal right there. So I always start with the prefab round as the beginning base part. I don't like doing the glitching, mainly because I suck at it. So normally what I have in all of them, and I'm surprised I actually don't have one in here. I probably did it because I had already finished all of the blueprints. I normally leave a blueprint analyzer right here as well, just so that it's standardized between all of the buildings. So if we go to like any of my other bases, they're going to be set up fairly similar to that. Now I didn't start doing this style base until I started talking to Sword. Most of mine were hideous, to be perfectly honest. Like Floater was my first attempt at building a sword-styled one, and it's not done, and I'm probably just going to destroy it. Oh, I love these long load screens. So I got a new headset when I got the new PS4, and this one is super convenient because the microphone is kind of like a little short one, and it's offset, so I can actually drink coffee without the microphone going right into my mic, or the mic going right into the coffee. So I built out this one, and this was, like I said, this was the first of this design. It was after I had watched Sword do some. I didn't build out this building big enough, so I actually can't put the summoning station for the exocraft on top. It won't fit on a single panel. you need multiples. And I did a 3x3 base as opposed to a 5x5 base. But then we have... This was me experimenting a little bit. I was looking for optimum layouts of different things. So right here in the back, those are all the storage units and then a bunch of different biodomes. And then I'd like to use the, like I said before, I'd like to use the prefab rounds as the first place. So I started there. And then this side one, I was trying to figure out how I could get, how close I could get the biodomes. So you see those two right there are quite literally building into each other, but it didn't affect the planting locations. And I was just seeing which pieces fit where, how many gaps I needed between. It's like these two are just barely touching. And then the difference between glass pieces and I still didn't know how to do this trick. What he does, he comes in and he builds his platform, and then he'll put a wall, a metal wall there, a metal wall there, metal wall there, and a metal wall there, so that they're in the center ones, and then he builds his walls up around it, because then you can put the pass-through panels like this, the hollow doors, on those, and then you can snap a hallway to it. Like these snap right to it. I hadn't figured that out, so what I did is I actually came up here, built this whole section here with the glass floor panels, and then I put another string of, I think, 3 of them underneath, which I'll show you that real quick. I don't think I deleted them. I did delete them. So right up here, I put another 3 going out that way, and then I set the prefab round on top of it, and then I came in here and deleted those out so that that would all start at that height, and that would be a completely separate thing. But now I know that you can actually snap the doors and the hallways to the metal walls. But I kind of like this one. It was good to play around and figure out which pieces would do what. Where I really struggled with was how I was going to come in here. You have to do a little jump to get up, but you see there's Galactic Trade Terminal and Blueprint Analyzer. And then off here goes to one side. And then this goes all the way back straight to the storage. I wanted to have it so I had storage available everywhere, and I actually made the mistake, I miscounted. So I built all these hallway sections and then started snapping in my storage units. So this is actually, oops, sorry. This is actually storage unit 0, I believe. Yeah, see there's 0. And then I didn't do enough to do 8 and 9, which this should be 9. And it looks like 8 is actually turned sideways, so I should probably fix that since I'm right here. Whoops, wrong one. I always forget which one is which. That storage is its own thing. Alright, so yeah, that's number 8. And I figured out that you could fit a storage unit here and then still stick the biodome right around it. So I could actually fit a storage unit in there as well, which I think would be kind of cool. I'm trying to remember why I have that. Why I have a beacon over there. I might have to go check. Oh, there's a portal right there. That would explain that. So this planet has a portal available, And it already had the floating rock, so I figured a floating base would be perfectly appropriate for this one. But I also was playing around a little bit. At night, this place looks so super cool because with the glowing doors and the glass panels have a slight glow to it. I also did the light blue lights, where I did 2 of them down here to illuminate the walkway, and then there's the ones up there. So it actually looks really, really cool. And what I was thinking about doing was for accent ones later on, so long as I didn't push the threshold too far with complexity, I was going to put the lights up underneath here as well, so it would look like it had repulsor lifts. Keep my little sci-fi theme going there. Oh crap. I almost fell. Alright, so let's see, what else do I have to show off? Ah, right on, right on. So I was curious. Do I still have the nip with me? So that's an invalid biome for that one. Okay, I could do Star Bramble on this one. I'm always curious as to whether or not other things... I know that they're set to specific biomes. But I'm always curious as if you can just get one to accidentally place. Alright, so that's Frostmourne. Alright, then we have... Alright, so this is home. This was the first... This was my spawn world. And as much as I want to get rid of this base, because it is hideous, it is, oh, it's brutally rough. I really ought to just rebuild it and maintain home. But to keep myself from being tempted to destroy this one, I planted like crazy here. So you walk out the front door and look to the right, and there's just nothing but gamma weed. And since there's so much gamma weed there, there's really no way for me to justify deleting the base anymore. But every time I come here, I have to summon the Colossus, because I will farm so much gamma weed that I can't, even if I have totally empty inventory, I still will fill up. So this one I have, for some odd reason, I have a beacon inside, but this is where I started using the GTT and the blueprint analyzer here. And when I first started, the actual teleporter was here as well. I just took out all of the... oh, I didn't take him out. I guess I was doing the weapons quest here. But in each one of these rooms there would be... oh, I didn't take the farmer out either. That's surprising. I must have put him back in for something. He has a mission for me. What you got there, buddy? Alright, what do you want me to gather? Whatever it is, I have it. Here, have some star bulbs. Alright, we got the swamp flax tubers. Yay. Alright, now how many berry technology modules do you need to refine? Oh, it's 1 to 15. Look at that. That's pretty slick, and it doesn't have a very long processing time either. I did not know that. That's awesome. Alright, so that's another way of getting lots and lots of those. Now let me give you the rest of the tour of the inside. So you walk back this main hallway. These are all prefab rounds, and I have refiners in them, and then I have these storage units here. Now the only goofy thing that I did on this one is I put a door here so that I could actually dip out the back, and that allowed me entrance and exit to that. And then I have this prefab with the ladder. You go up the ladder, and this takes us to the landing pad. So that's landing pad number 1, and we have a visitor. And landing pad number 2 is right there, so it's got my ship. But then we come out here. There are my uraniums. There is a uranium over there that's also in range, and then there is... I thought there was one more that was in range of the base computer. Uranium right there. So all 3 of those are within range. But this base layout is horrendous, and there's all the gamma weed over off on the side. Nice little radioactive planet. I set the base up right next to here because there was a big, with the big structure, it had the landing pad. So I would use the free landing pad at first, but I still have the original wood flooring. So that was my original base building right there. Which was pretty funny, but it's got lots and lots of bouncies around here, and if you feed one of them, they will come from miles and miles and miles around. This poor sentinel has been stuck back in here for a while, and every once in a while I'll get one of the beholder looking bouncies get stuck back here, the yellow one with the arms. But there's all my bouncies. What's going on, guys? Who wants some food? Come on, big Poppa T-Mo needs some fertilizer for his plants. You guys are just going to run away. Oh, the sentinel got out. So yeah, I have all of this gamma weed that is ungodly to get. It was the worst decision I've ever made with how to plant things. I was still learning on how to plant outside, and on PS4 it's not like you can just hover your mouse over something nice and neat. It's got a constant swoop to it when you move. Oh yeah, when I first built this base, the 2 wood panels back behind here, they were enclosed, and I had a door where that door is, and the sentinels got inside one day, and I had 2 sentinels stuck inside. So I would always come out here and make sure I would blast one of these carbon things or something like that just to piss them off. They couldn't come out and get me. It's fun making the sentinels mad. It really is. But this is the original base. This is home. I'm actually kind of surprised that look at that, got an A488 just landed. And I don't remember what the economy of this. Oh, okay, it's promising, so I guess there's a 1% chance of an S-class. But I do get the visitors. You can see that the Earth is starting to take back this section here, slowly encroaching upon that, but it hasn't come into the building yet. Most of the other places that I have where I dug in at all, um, I don't need the uranium. I have stockpiles of uranium like crazy. Um, Most of the places that I dug in at all have been reclaimed. Normally, if you have, like, if I had the teleporter in this building here, this would all have been reclaimed by now with my luck. I've poured it into places and been stuck in the ground, or be jammed up in the top of um, a prefab unit where you couldn't get out because the earth came back so much. Alright, so that was Frostmourne. What other really interesting ones? Don't think I really have too many other interesting bases on here. Take you to TP Mag Fair Bubbles 48. I'll show off that one real quick. This was the... Oh, excuse me. This was my second base, so this one is also hideous. I was doing all prefab stuff early on. Yeah, when you're doing an outpost, you really only need 2 or 3 prefab buildings. I would do one with the Galactic Trade Terminal, and then I do another one that would have the teleporter, and a third one that would have a refiner in it. And I didn't have the landing pads yet, so I didn't have to worry about those being any place convenient. And I would build things, and I tried to build bases that I would want to spend some time in. You know, I'd only set up a base if I had good resources around. But this is the one that is right next to magnetized ferrite. There's a copper deposit right next to it as well. And then there's a paraffinium just on the edge of the base computer range. So this one, you come in here and come back behind here, and there's storage units. I would do those hallways of storage units. And then I have a refiner over there, a refiner back there, my main entryway. This would normally have the construction terminal right there, and then the other terminals would be other places. This one had, I believe I had the farmer in here and a couple little hydroponic trays. But you walk out the front door and we have the trading post, and it's called Magfair Bubbles because there's the baller hauler, which is my favorite style of hauler, but it also has these box haulers. And then what drives Sword absolutely nuts every time is the Dora. It has that double-barreled Explorer, and they normally land in twos, so they will come in tandem at times. There'll actually be 2 of them on the pad at once, and they're normally full-size A's or S's. So I got my S-Class Explorer here, and they are all gunmetal gray. That's a B-3410. That's probably the worst one that's going to land there. But there's the paraffinium deposit right there. The magnetized ferrite is this one here. I started to do O2 and then the copper's right there. So these were interfering with the copper all the time. See, they picked up copper again. For the longest time though, they would just come up as magnetized ferrite. And then I made the mistake of actually putting an autonomous mining unit on the paraffinium down there because I needed to do, I don't even remember what I needed the paraffinium for, planting something. So I did that, but I'll give you the aerial view of the base. So the original base pad is obviously the wood panels still on the floor. And then we have that general setup. I set up on a little caldera thing. When I first got to this planet, it has superheated rainstorms. And I was out here trying to get to the trading post, and the storm came up, so I ended up blowing a hole in the side of the hill over there and hiding in a hole for a little while. But it had lots of buried technology modules. It had lots of knowledge stones around. There are abandoned buildings. There's an abandoned building down that way. There is another one on one of these islands over here. So there were a decent amount of resources to go for, and I really liked it. But then what I was doing was I finally got the landing pads, and that's why these two end caps are here. I put a landing pad here, and I put a landing pad over on the end there. The problem is, as soon as you put the landing pads here, all of these ships that are trying to go to the trading post will circle this building, and they will only use one landing pad, so you will constantly have 5 to 8 ships orbiting this section, and it was taking forever to get anything I wanted to land. Yeah, so it was basically making it impossible. I was trying to get another baller hauler. See, there's an A3611. I was trying to get another baller hauler, and the ballers were they were just out of order. So it would land all the crap that I didn't really want. Minor settlement over there. But then you see that I've also got paraffinium, another copper. There are nodes everywhere. So I mean, for an early base, this was awesome. But it's just, it's hideously foul. Alright, there's a 3812. There's a max size A class right there. And you see there's 2 on the pad as we speak. So yeah, this was driving Sword nuts. Yeah, if the settlements are too close. It's kind of funny how the little things get in the way. Yeah, but this was a great early resource for me. It was just one of those things that, yeah, it gave me the ships that I needed. The atmosphere is pleasant. You know, it had a lot of resources, and aside from the occasional superheated rainstorm, which really they are fairly infrequent. You got 2 of the same haulers on the mat at the same time. It was a great planet to do a lot of stuff on. So this one really let me get my feet on the ground and get established. And I got a lot of resources here. The only thing I don't like about it now is the fact that I can't put a landing pad in. But so be it. So I keep this one out of nostalgia as well. You know, one of the other things was it was the first one that I learned not to really put them into the ground too much. I did place the summoning station down there so the supports won't go to all the way to the ground, which kind of sucks, but I don't mind the floating bases. There's another baller hauler right there. The only thing I don't like about the baller haulers here is their color scheme is horrible. They are very, very orange and green. There are lots and lots of really cool bases, or base locations. We found a lot of really cool planets. So yeah, get your butt back to Euclid. Alright, we got all sorts of ships coming in, so definitely high traffic. The blowback from the exhaust is refreshing every once in a while. And then we have, it's kind of funny, this is turning into a base tour. Wasn't really planning on that. Starbulb paraffinium, phosphorus solar vine. I don't know what's up with this solar vine one. Like I said, I tend to name them something, so I at least know that there's solar vine here, but I don't know anything else about this base. It's probably another crappy attempt at a sword style base. What I really need to do is just watch his videos step by step and build them that way. Right, okay, Jay. I definitely appreciate you being here too. I'm having a great time chatting with you. It's actually been something I've been meaning to do for a while because you and I tend to be on a lot of the same times. Yeah, see, this is another attempt at a... Okay, see, this was one of the things that I couldn't figure out how to get the doors on there properly. Now, I know how to do it now, but I didn't know it at the time, so it was not going so hot. So let's see where we are. I have no idea what the status of this base is, so... Yeah, see, I ran out of materials. I was trying new things here. So here's an example of what you can do with the prefab units, where you come off of the back wall here. Now that is set into a metal wall, and then the door frame, and then you go 3, and then on the 4th one you would have the split, and then you go another 4 and have another split, and you would be able to put 3 biodomes right here, and they won't interfere with each other. They'll do this, where they are actually touching, but not enough that they won't plant. And then this was my attempt at, let me zoom over here correctly, how Sword does his builds, where he builds out with the flat panels off of there, but I didn't realize it was so important to build the base first, the 5x5 base, put the edge pieces on, put the door frame into it, or build your frame out, because if you start building anything else around it, like I put this metal wall down and I put the door frame in, and then I put this glass panel on, and then as soon as I started putting these glass panels in, I can't put a metal frame here. It won't take it. It puts the door frame on backwards, no matter how many times you try and reset it. So I was going to start over here. Since I got that one, I'll come out here and put the metal door or metal wall here, and one on the other side there, and then one on the end. Put the doors into them, and then put the glass panels in, and it should cycle through correctly. Otherwise, it just messes up. And then down here, hello, Mr. Sentinel. You can see that when I originally put the steps in, this was actually flush, and the ground has shifted now that there's a gap here and that side's going high, so things are altering. But there was a pretty decent natural solar vine cluster here, so I came out here, and this is where I learned that lesson. I was watching one of Xaine's videos on base building, and you can see the vast difference here in the way that I was doing it compared to the way that he does it. That's me on the right and him on the left. Now I planted both of these, but the one on the right I planted freehand in third person, and it took me a solid 10 minutes to plant all of those plants. Now, the other thing that's really, really goofy is if you look at the difference in the length, there are exactly the same number of plants in both lines. That's the same number as over here, but this one is almost twice as long, and it's because these are so much closer to each other. What I did was coming in here, um, this is me coming here and planting one and then moving a little bit, planting one and then moving a little bit, planting one, and doing it like this. And you can see that, like, I planted these first, and then I moved over here and I planted those next 4, and then I moved over here and I planted these 5, and then I moved over here and I planted 5 and did it like that. This row over here, what I did is I came and I just stood in one location, and I changed my perspective to first person, pointed towards the ground, and just planted and backed up in a straight line. I didn't bother to look or anything. It was just hit the button as fast as I could until I ran out. So the little swirl right here, where you can see that there's a slight variation in the line, and there's a gap right there, that's because there is a little mineral, one of these little hockey puck guys, one of these things, a very tiny one, stuck in the ground right over there. And it shifted it ever so slightly, and it threw off my step. So that's really the only difference. These ones right here, this is a speed gap. But yeah, it shows a huge difference. And then, like these little things, when you're walking, sometimes they will alter your course ever so slightly. So if you come out here and blast all these little hockey pucks first, not with that. So if you come out and clean them all up real quick, you could actually make a perfectly flat area to do this, and then just continue on. And the other cool thing is you can come in here to where you stopped before. If you want to increase the length of your line, just come in here, get lined up with it, point there, and then just start backing up and planting, backing up and planting, backing up and planting. So huge difference in how it goes. But yeah, it's funny the little lessons we learn just off of little things. So like I said, I like to plant naturally outside because it's less resources to do it. I am going to have to start being careful on the count, because if you plant, 1,000 plants outside, it cuts into the complexity numbers that you're allowed for your build. And I have to make sure that I'm not stalling things out, because the buildings alone, when you're building in here, it alters that. Now this is an idea that I was trying to do, where I wanted to have a different landing pad aspect. What Sword does is he has his landing pads on all 4 corners, where he will run the platform all the way out, and then on the very last one there will be a landing pad there. I was thinking about doing them on the 2nd floor here, but what I was testing out on this was whether or not the biodomes would interfere. And what I found was if you do 3 sections there, and then on the 4th, there's supposed to be a biodome in here. So you can't really put a landing pad there. So you either start further out, or possibly do a tier up, a higher tier, so that they're up above the landing, or the landing pads will be up above the biodomes. What I was actually thinking about doing was that, where this section here would be up taller, and it would be kind of a stepped building. So you have the angled roof and then another line of walls, and then go up one more level. The landing pads would stick off this level here so that they wouldn't interfere with the biodomes, and then there would be the roof on top with the radar dish, and I think that would look kind of cool, but I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. And then the other thing that I really don't like is I haven't figured out the best way to turn the landing pads. If this landing pad was actually facing the door, the tip of the nose of Kicking Bird here, my fighter, would be in the door. And when I come down with Bubbles or Planter or any of my baller haulers, the nose of the ship will be right to the door if that's facing the wrong way. So I have to learn to turn them, um, and do that. But I do like the little things that I've been learning from Sword in particular. Like he puts up these little railings. Ooh, I'm missing a floor panel. Oh, that's right, because I had to get the doorway in here. So there's missing a door panel there, or a floor panel, so I need to put the railing there for OSHA regulations. And then figure all that out. But I do like this hallway style coming in here. And I really do wish I had gotten that wall panel to fall in correctly. Yeah, when you're doing a lot of base building though, and you're doing a lot of gathering for stuff like that, the fighters are not the way to go. Oh, did he? Cool. Oh, is that what that notification was? Well, hey, if Sword is streaming, yep, there, I just got the notification. I think what we probably ought to do is switch over to Sword. So I think we will do a little Sword raid. If you want to head on over there, that would be fine, because I'm going to shut this one down and head over there myself. But I'm going to go ahead and post a link. There is Sword. And I will see you guys over there. Thank you very much, KJ. This has been wonderful. And we'll do it again. But until next time, fly safe.